My name is Jasmine. I am 32 years old, and 3 months ago, a restaurant hostess looked at my brown skin and made me wait 2 hours. She seated a white couple who arrived after me. She smiled at them. She ignored me. I stood there watching. My heart was breaking. But by the end of that week, the owner called me personally. He apologized with tears in his voice. The hostess was fired. The manager was demoted, and the restaurant changed its entire policy because of what happened to me. But this story doesn't start in that restaurant lobby. It starts 2 weeks earlier, when I made a reservation for my 5th wedding anniversary, when I had no idea that one dinner would change everything, when I still believed that racism like this didn't happen anymore. My husband Marcus and I were celebrating 5 years of marriage. 5 years of building our life together. We wanted something special, something we would remember forever. I work as a marketing manager at a tech company. Marcus is an accountant. We don't splurge often. We save our money. We're practical people. But anniversaries are different. Anniversaries deserve celebration. I had been researching restaurants for weeks, reading reviews online, asking friends for recommendations. I wanted the perfect place. Elegant, but not pretentious. Romantic, but not cliché. Then I found Bella Vista, an upscale Italian restaurant downtown. The photos looked beautiful. The reviews were glowing. People raved about the ambiance. They loved the food. They said it was perfect for special occasions. I called Bella Vista 3 weeks in advance. A woman answered the phone. Her voice was professional. She sounded friendly. I told her I needed a reservation for 2. Saturday night at 7 p.m. It was for her anniversary. She said, "Congratulations. We'd love to host you." She took my name, Jasmine Thompson. She took my phone number. She confirmed the date and time. "We'll see you on the 15th at 7, she said. I felt excited. I marked it on her calendar. I told Marcus about it that night. His eyes lit up. "Bella Vista? I've heard amazing things," he said. We were both looking forward to it. This was going to be our night, our celebration, our moment to feel special. I didn't know that 3 weeks later, I would be standing in that restaurant, fighting for basic human dignity. Before I continue, I need to say something. If you have ever been treated differently because of your skin color, this story is for you. If you have ever felt invisible in a room full of people, you will understand exactly what I felt. If you want to see what happens when someone refuses to accept discrimination, make sure you subscribe to Revenge Leader, because what happened to me was not okay. What I did about it changed everything. And maybe my story will help you find your voice too. This is not just about a restaurant. This is about dignity. This is about standing up when staying silent feels safer. So please, stay with me. Subscribe if you believe people deserve respect. Because this story gets intense, and the ending will remind you why speaking up always matters. Saturday finally came. I woke up that morning feeling happy. The sun was shining through our bedroom window. Marcus was still sleeping beside me. I smiled, thinking about tonight, our special night. I had bought a new dress the week before, a beautiful navy blue dress. Simple, but elegant. I had my hair appointment at 3 p.m. Everything was planned perfectly. Marcus and I spent the afternoon relaxing. We didn't want to be rushed. We wanted to enjoy every moment. At 5 p.m., I started getting ready. I took my time with my makeup. I wanted to look beautiful for him. Marcus wore his best suit, the charcoal gray one. He looked so handsome. At 6:15, we left our apartment. The restaurant was 20 minutes away. We wanted to arrive a few minutes early. Professional, respectful. We were excited. We pulled into the parking lot at 6:40. Bella Vista looked even better in person. Soft lighting glowed through the large windows. We could see people inside, dining, laughing, enjoying themselves. The building was beautiful, modern but warm, exactly what I had hoped for. We walked to the entrance holding hands. Marcus squeezed my hand. "This is going to be perfect," he whispered. I squeezed back. My heart was full. We opened the door. Soft music played inside. The smell of fresh bread and garlic filled the air. The hostess stand was right there. A young white woman stood behind it. Blonde hair pulled back, crisp white shirt. She was looking down at a computer screen. We approached her. I smiled. "Hi, we have a reservation," I said. "Thompson, 7 p.m. She looked up. Her eyes met mine, and something changed in her face. Her smile disappeared. Just for a second, so quick that I almost missed it. But I saw it. Marcus saw it too. I felt his hand tense in mine. "Thompson?" she said. Her voice was different now, flat. She looked down at her computer. She scrolled. She frowned. She said. "That's all. Just, I waited. She kept scrolling. "Is there a problem?" I asked. My voice was polite, patient. "Oh, no problem," she said. But she didn't look at me. "Your table isn't quite ready yet. If you could just wait in the lobby for a few minutes." She gestured to a small waiting area. 4 chairs, a bench. I looked at my phone. It was 6:50. We were early. "Of course," I said. "No problem." Marcus and I walked to the waiting area. We sat down. "A few minutes," she had said. That seemed reasonable. Tables need to be cleaned. I understood. But something felt off. The way she had looked at me, the way her tone had changed. I pushed the thought away. We sat there watching people come and go. A waiter walked past carrying plates. The food looked incredible. I could hear conversation and laughter from the dining room. 7 p.m. came. No one called our name. 7:15. Still nothing. I looked at Marcus. "Should I ask?" I said. "Give it a few more minutes," he said, but his jaw was tight. At 7:20, another couple walked in. A white couple, mid-40s maybe. The man wore jeans and a casual button-down. The woman had on a simple dress, nothing fancy. They approached the hostess stand. The same blonde hostess looked up. This time, she smiled. Bright, warm, genuine. "Good evening. Welcome to Bella Vista." Her voice was completely different. Cheerful, enthusiastic. The voice she hadn't used with me. My stomach dropped. "Do you have a reservation?" the hostess asked them. The man shook his head. "No, sorry. We were just walking by. Do you have anything available?" The hostess looked down at her computer. "Let me see what I can do." She smiled at them. 30 seconds later, she looked up. "You're in luck. I have a table for 2. Right this way." She grabbed 2 menus. She stepped out from behind the stand. She led them into the dining room. Just like that. No reservation, no waiting. They walked right past us. The woman glanced at me as they passed. Our eyes met for a second. Then she looked away. They disappeared into the restaurant. Marcus and I sat there in silence. My hands started shaking. "Did that just happen?" I whispered. Marcus's face was stone. "Yeah," he said quietly. "It did." We had been waiting for 30 minutes. We had a reservation. They had nothing. We were dressed up, ready to spend money, ready to celebrate. But they were inside, and we were still sitting in the lobby. The math was simple. The pattern was clear. My brown skin, their white skin. That was the only difference. I felt sick. My anniversary dress suddenly felt wrong. Too fancy. like I was trying too hard, like I didn't belong here. Tears started forming in my eyes. I blinked them back. No, I would not cry. Not here, not now. Marcus reached over. He took my hand. "We can leave," he said softly. Part of me wanted to walk out, go somewhere else, pretend this didn't happen. But another part of me was angry, tired of being treated like this, tired of staying quiet. "No," I said. My voice was steady. "I'm not leaving. Not like this." I stood up. My legs felt weak, but I walked to the hostess stand anyway. The blonde woman was typing something on her computer. She didn't look up. I cleared my throat. "Excuse me," I said. She glanced at me. "Yes?" Her tone was cold, professional on the surface, but cold underneath. "We've been waiting for 40 minutes now," I said. "Our reservation was for 7. You just seated a couple who didn't even have a reservation." I kept my voice calm, steady. I wanted her to hear me clearly. She sighed, actually sighed, like I was bothering her. "Ma'am, your table is being prepared. It'll just be a few more minutes." The same line as before. "How long is a few more minutes?" I asked. She shrugged. "I can't give you an exact time. We're very busy tonight." I looked around. The lobby was empty. Just Marcus and me. No one else was waiting. "That couple didn't have a reservation," I said again. I needed her to acknowledge it, to explain it. She looked at me with blank eyes. "They requested the bar area. We had bar seating available." A lie. I had watched her lead them into the main dining room, not the bar. "I saw where you took them," I said. "That wasn't the bar." Her face hardened. "Ma'am, I'm doing my best to accommodate everyone. Your server isn't ready yet." Another excuse. A different excuse. First it was the table. Now it was the server. The story kept changing. "Which is it?" I asked. "Is the table not ready, or is the server not ready?" She blinked, caught in her own lie. "Both," she said flatly. I felt heat rising in my chest. My hands were shaking again, but not from sadness anymore, from anger. Pure, justified anger. I walked back to Marcus. I sat down hard. "She's lying," I told him. He nodded. "I know." We sat there, watching. At 7:50, another couple arrived. White couple, early 30s. They walked up to the hostess stand. "Hi, reservation for Davis?" the man said. The hostess smiled, checked her computer. "Right this way." She grabbed menus. She led them in. 5 minutes later, another group arrived. A family. 4 people. All white. Parents and 2 teenage kids. "We have a reservation for 6 people, but 2 couldn't make it," the father said. "No problem at all. Your table is ready." She seated them immediately. I watched this happen, right in front of me, over and over. Every white person who walked through that door got seated. And we sat there, still waiting. It had been over an hour now. Marcus stood up. I had never seen him this angry. His jaw was clenched, his hands were fists. "I'm going to say something," he said. "Marcus, wait." But he was already walking to the hostess stand. I followed him. "Excuse me," he said. His voice was controlled, firm. The hostess looked up. "We've been waiting for an hour and 15 minutes. We had a reservation. You've seated at least 5 parties who arrived after us. Can you please explain what's happening?" She looked nervous now. 2 of us standing there, both demanding answers. "Sir, like I told your wife, your table—" Marcus cut her off. Don't give us another excuse. We've watched you seat people without reservations. We've watched you seat walk-ins. Every single one of them was white. We're the only black couple here, and we're still waiting. His voice had gotten louder. Not yelling, but loud enough. People in the dining room could hear. I saw heads turning, guests looking toward the hostess stand. A waiter stopped walking. He stood there, watching us. An older woman at a nearby table was staring, her fork frozen halfway to her mouth. The hostess's face turned red. She looked around nervously. "Sir, please lower your voice. You're disturbing our guests." Marcus laughed. It was a bitter sound. "We're disturbing them? We've been standing here for over an hour. We had a reservation. We're dressed up. We're ready to spend our money here. But you won't seat us. And you think we're the problem?" The hostess opened her mouth, then closed it. She had no answer. Because there was no good answer. The truth was obvious, and now everyone could see it. I pulled out my phone. My hands were steadier now. I opened my email app. I found my reservation confirmation. There it was. Thompson, Party of 2, Saturday, May 15th, 7 p.m. Confirmed 3 weeks ago. I took a screenshot. Then I opened my camera. I took a photo of the empty lobby. No one waiting but us. I looked at the time on my phone. 8:12 p.m. I started typing notes. Every couple I had seen seated, their approximate arrival time, whether they had reservations, their race. I wrote it all down. Marcus saw what I was doing. He nodded slightly. "Good," he said quietly. The hostess noticed too. Her eyes went to my phone. "Ma'am, you can't take photos in here." I looked at her. "I'm documenting my experience," I said calmly. "Is that against the law?" "I want to speak to your manager," I said. Not a question, a statement. The hostess's face went pale. "He's very busy right now." "Get him," Marcus said. His voice was steel. She hesitated, looked around. She was trapped, and she knew it. People were still watching. The situation was escalating. She couldn't make us disappear. "One moment," she said quietly. She picked up a small phone behind the stand. She spoke in a low voice. I couldn't hear what she said, but I saw her face. Worried. Scared, even. 30 seconds later, a man in a dark suit appeared. Tall, white, late 40s maybe. His expression was already annoyed, like we were the problem. "I'm David Chen, the manager. Is there an issue?" His tone was condescending, like he was already dismissing us in his mind. "Yes," I said. "There's an issue." I explained everything, calmly, clearly. Our 7 p.m. reservation, the hour and 15 minutes we'd been waiting, the multiple parties seated before us, all white, all after our arrival time, some without reservations at all. David listened. His arms were crossed. His face showed nothing. When I finished, he nodded slowly. "I understand you're frustrated. Saturday nights are our busiest time. Sometimes there are delays." "Did you hear what I said?" Marcus interrupted. "This isn't about a delay. This is about discrimination. We've been sitting here watching white couples walk in and get seated immediately." David's jaw tightened. "Sir, I can assure you, we don't discriminate at Bella Vista. We seat our guests in the order they arrive." "That's a lie," I said. My voice was sharp now. "And you know it's a lie. I have timestamps. I have notes. I have proof." I held up my phone. "Here's my reservation confirmation. 7 p.m. I have screenshots showing we checked in at 6:50. I've documented every party that's been seated since then. 5 parties. All white. Some without reservations." I started reading from my notes. 7:20. White couple, no reservation, seated immediately. 7:50. White couple, reservation for Davis, seated within 3 minutes. 8:05. White family, seated immediately. David's face changed. He wasn't smiling anymore. He looked at the hostess. She looked at the floor. I can also show you the photos I took of this empty lobby. No one else waiting. Just us. For over an hour. Marcus stepped closer. We're not going away. We're not going to be quiet. You can seat us now and we'll still be filing a complaint. Or you can continue this charade and we'll make sure everyone knows what happened here tonight. David looked around. At least 10 tables of diners were watching now. This wasn't private anymore. This was public. This was witnesses. His throat moved as he swallowed. Of course, let me seat you right away. No, I said. The word came out strong, confident. He blinked. No? We don't want to eat here now, I said. Not after this. What we want is an explanation. A real one. Not corporate speak, not excuses. Why were we made to wait while white couples were seated? Silence. He looked at the hostess again. She was crying now, tears running down her face. But I felt no sympathy. She had done this. She had looked at my skin and decided I didn't deserve respect. David ran his hand through his hair. This is obviously a misunderstanding. Stop, Marcus said. Just stop. We're done here. But this isn't over. We turned to leave, and that's when I heard it. A voice from the dining room. An older black woman, standing up. Shame on you, she said to David. Shame on this place. Marcus took my hand. We walked toward the door together. My head was high. My shoulders were back. I refused to leave looking defeated. Behind us, I heard murmuring. People talking. The older black woman who had spoken was gathering her things. Her husband stood up too. They were leaving as well. In solidarity. With us. A younger white couple at another table looked uncomfortable. The man said something to his server, pointed toward us. I didn't know what he said, but I saw the server's face change. We reached the door. Marcus opened it for me. The cool night air hit my face. I hadn't realized how hot I was, how much anger was burning inside me. We walked to our car in silence. When we got in, Marcus gripped the steering wheel. He didn't start the car. He just sat there. I'm sorry, he said quietly. This was supposed to be special. It's not your fault, I said. My voice cracked. The tears I had been holding back finally came. I cried in that parking lot. Marcus held my hand. He didn't say anything. He just let me cry. After a few minutes, I wiped my eyes. I'm not letting this go, I said. Marcus looked at me. What do you want to do? I thought about it. About all the times I had stayed silent. All the times I had swallowed my anger. All the times I had walked away. Everything, I said. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to make sure they can't do this to anyone else. Marcus nodded. Then I'm with you, whatever you need. He started the car. We drove home. Our anniversary dinner never happened, but something else was beginning. Something that would matter more than any meal. We were going to fight back. We got home around 9 p.m. I changed out of my dress, put on sweatpants and a t-shirt. I felt more like myself, more ready to work. I opened my laptop at the kitchen table. Marcus made coffee. Strong coffee. We were going to be up late. I started organizing everything. First, I pulled up my reservation confirmation email. I saved it as a PDF. I took multiple screenshots. Then I went through my photos from tonight. The empty lobby. The timestamp showing 8:12 p.m. I organized them in a folder. Next, I opened a new document. I started writing everything down, every detail I could remember. What time we arrived, what the hostess said, word for word if possible. Every couple that was seated before us. I wrote it all. Marcus sat across from me. "What else do we need?" he asked. "Proof this isn't isolated," I said. I opened Google. I searched Bella Vista restaurant reviews. Hundreds came up. I started reading. Most were positive. 5 stars, great food, beautiful ambiance. But then I found them. The 1-star reviews. I started taking screenshots. One review from 4 months ago. An Indian couple. Waited 90 minutes despite reservation. Watched white couples seated immediately. Will never return. Another from 6 months ago. A black woman. Felt unwelcome from the moment I walked in. Hostess was rude. Manager was dismissive. Disappointing experience. Another. And another. I found 7 reviews total. All from people of color. All describing similar treatment. Long waits. Dismissive staff. Watching white customers get preferential treatment. My hands were shaking again. This wasn't new. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a pattern. A system. "Marcus, look at this," I said. He came around the table, read over my shoulder. His face went dark. They've been doing this for months. I kept digging. I needed to understand my rights, what laws protected me, what I could actually do. I found the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title II specifically. It prohibits discrimination in public accommodations. Restaurants are public accommodations. Refusing service based on race is illegal. I read everything I could find. I took notes. I found the contact information for our state's Civil Rights Commission. I bookmarked their complaint form. Then I searched for Bella Vista's corporate information. Who owned it, whether it was a chain or independent. I found the owner's name, Robert Morrison. Local businessman. Owned 3 restaurants in the city. I found his email address, his business phone number. I wrote it all down. Next, I looked up customer protection attorneys. I wasn't sure if I needed a lawyer yet, but I wanted to be prepared. I found 3 firms that specialized in discrimination cases. I saved their information. Marcus watched me work. "You're amazing," he said. I looked up at him. "I'm angry," I said, "and I'm going to use it." It was almost midnight, but I wasn't tired. I opened a new email. Subject line, "Formal complaint, racial discrimination at Bella Vista, May 15th, 2025. I started writing. I kept it professional, factual, unemotional in tone, but detailed, very detailed. I introduced myself, explained our reservation, described the entire evening chronologically. I included specific times, specific details. I described each couple that was seated before us. I noted that we observed a clear pattern of preferential treatment based on race. I attached my reservation confirmation, my photos, screenshots of the reviews from other customers of color. I explained that this appeared to be systematic discrimination, not an isolated incident. I stated that I was filing complaints with the State Civil Rights Commission and potentially seeking legal counsel. I asked for a response within 48 hours. I wanted to know what action would be taken. I reread it 3 times, changed a few words, made it stronger. Then I typed in the recipient, Robert Morrison, owner. CC'd the manager, David Chen. CC'd the general contact email. My finger hovered over send. "Do it," Marcus said behind me. I clicked send. Sunday morning came. I woke up early, checked my email. Nothing yet. I tried to distract myself, did laundry, cleaned the apartment, but I kept checking my phone every 30 minutes. Nothing. By evening, still no response. I wasn't surprised, but I was disappointed. Monday morning. I went to work, tried to focus. My boss noticed I was distracted. "Everything okay, Jasmine?" she asked. I considered lying, but I told her the whole story. Her face went red. "That's outrageous. What are you doing about it?" I told her about the email, the complaint. She nodded approvingly. "Good. Don't let them ignore this." I went back to my desk. At 2 p.m., my phone buzzed. An email from Bella Vista. My heart jumped. I opened it. It was from David Chen, the manager, not the owner. The email was short, generic. "Dear Ms. Thompson, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience you experienced. At Bella Vista, we strive to provide excellent service to all guests. Please accept this $100 gift certificate as a gesture of our appreciation for your patience." That was it. No acknowledgement of what actually happened. No mention of discrimination. Just a gift card. Like money would make this go away. I stared at that email for 5 minutes, fury building inside me. They thought $100 would shut me up. They thought this was about a free meal. I hit reply. I didn't think, I just wrote. "Mr. Chen, your response is insulting. This is not about a gift certificate. This is about being discriminated against based on my race. Your hostess made me wait over an hour while seating white couples immediately. You witnessed this. You offered no real explanation, no accountability. I am not interested in dining at your establishment ever again. What I want is acknowledgement of what happened, a real investigation, real consequences, and assurance this won't happen to anyone else. I have filed a complaint with the State Civil Rights Commission. I have documented evidence, and I have connected with 7 other customers of color who experienced similar treatment at Bella Vista. This is not going away. You can address it now, or you can address it when this becomes public. Your choice. Jasmine Thompson." I sent it before I could second guess myself. Then I forwarded the entire email chain to Robert Morrison again, with a new subject line. "Your manager's response is unacceptable." Tuesday afternoon. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. "Hello? Miss Thompson, this is Robert Morrison. I own Bella Vista." His voice was serious, concerned, not dismissive. "I received your emails, all of them. I want to apologize personally, and I'd like to meet with you, in person, to discuss this properly." I wasn't expecting this. I thought I'd have to push harder. "What changed?" I asked. He sighed. "I spoke to David. I reviewed the reservation log from Saturday night. I looked at the reviews you sent me, and I'm horrified. This is not what Bella Vista stands for. But clearly, we've failed, and I need to understand how, so I can fix it." His words sounded genuine, but I'd been burned before. "I want my husband there," I said. "Of course, whenever works for you." We scheduled a meeting, Thursday afternoon, his office. I hung up feeling strange, hopeful but guarded. Was this real, or just damage control? I posted about the experience on my personal social media. Not the restaurant's name, not yet. Just the story. What happened, how it felt. Within hours, my post had hundreds of reactions. Comments poured in, friends supporting me, strangers sharing their own stories. A local activist group reached out. They wanted to help. They offered to organize a peaceful protest if needed. A reporter from the city newspaper messaged me. "I'd like to talk to you about your experience. We're doing a piece on discrimination in local restaurants." I told her I'd think about it. I wanted to see what Morrison said first. Wednesday night, I got another message. from one of the people who'd left a negative review, a woman named Keisha. I saw your Google review. The same thing happened to me, the same hostess. I'm so glad someone is finally doing something. Thank you. We talked on the phone for an hour, comparing experiences. They were almost identical. Pattern confirmed. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. This was real, systematic, and it was about to be exposed. Thursday afternoon arrived. Marcus and I drove to Morrison's office downtown. It was in a sleek building, modern, expensive. We took the elevator to the 5th floor. A receptionist greeted us warmly. "Mr. Morrison is expecting you. Right this way." She led us to a corner office. Large windows. City view. Robert Morrison stood up when we entered. He was older than I expected, mid-60s maybe. Gray hair, tired eyes. He extended his hand. I hesitated, then shook it. Marcus did the same. "Please, sit," Morrison said. We sat across from his desk. He sat down too, leaned forward, his hands clasped together. "First, I want to say I'm sorry, truly sorry, for what you experienced, for how you were treated. There's no excuse for it." His voice was steady. He looked directly at me, not at his desk, not at papers, at me. I've owned Bella Vista for 12 years. I built it from nothing, and I thought I knew what was happening there. Clearly, I was wrong. Morrison opened a folder on his desk. After your email, I launched an immediate investigation. I personally reviewed security footage from Saturday night. I interviewed staff members, and I looked through our reservation and seating logs going back 6 months. He paused. His jaw tightened. What I found made me sick. The hostess, Brittany Cooper, has a documented pattern. She consistently delayed seating for guests of color, sometimes by 10 minutes, sometimes by over an hour, like in your case. She gave priority to white guests, even walk-ins, even when people of color had confirmed reservations. My stomach twisted, hearing it confirmed out loud. She's been doing this for 9 months, since she was promoted to lead hostess. And no one caught it. Or if they did, they didn't report it. Morrison looked at David's name on a paper. David Chen, the manager on duty that night. He's been with us for 3 years. He should have noticed. He should have stopped it. At minimum, he should have taken your complaint seriously. He didn't. Morrison looked up at us. That's on me. I created a culture where this could happen, where it did happen. And I'm ashamed. Brittany Cooper was terminated Monday morning, immediately after I reviewed the footage. She's no longer employed at Bella Vista or any of my restaurants. Morrison said it firmly, no hesitation. David Chen has been demoted. He's no longer general manager. He's being transferred to a back-of-house position at our other location. He'll undergo mandatory training, diversity and inclusion, conflict resolution, customer service. If he shows growth, maybe he can earn back trust. But not at Bella Vista, not in a customer-facing role, not now. I felt something release in my chest. Justice. Actual consequences. What about the other staff? Marcus asked. Did anyone else know? Morrison nodded. 2 servers mentioned they'd noticed Brittany's behavior, but they didn't report it formally. They assumed management knew. They're receiving additional training. And I've made it clear. If they see discrimination, they report it. Immediately. Or they're complicit. He pulled out another paper. I also hired an external consultant, someone who specializes in identifying systemic bias in businesses. She'll be auditing our entire operation. Hiring, training, service, everything. Morrison slid a piece of paper across the desk. I've drafted a public statement. I want you to read it before I post it. I picked it up. It was typed. Professional, but personal too. It read, To our community. On May 15th, Jasmine Thompson and her husband came to Bella Vista to celebrate their anniversary. Instead of receiving the exceptional service we promise, they were subjected to racial discrimination. They were made to wait over an hour while white guests were seated immediately. This is unacceptable. This is not who we are. Or rather, it's not who we should be. But clearly, we failed. I take full responsibility. The employee responsible has been terminated. Management has been restructured, and we are implementing comprehensive anti-discrimination training for all staff. I am committed to making Bella Vista a place where everyone feels welcome, regardless of race, religion, or background. Ms. Thompson, I am deeply sorry. You deserved better. Robert Morrison, owner. I looked up at him. You're really posting this? Yes. On our website, our social media. I want people to know what happened and what we're doing about it. Morrison pulled out another document. I'd like to offer you compensation, not as a bribe, not to silence you, but because you deserve it. You and your husband had your anniversary ruined. You experienced trauma, humiliation. You spent time and energy fighting for basic dignity. He slid the paper over. I looked at it. It was a settlement agreement for $10,000. My eyes widened. Additionally, I'd like to make a donation, in your name, to the local NAACP chapter, another $10,000, for their work fighting discrimination. I looked at Marcus. He looked as shocked as I felt. You don't have to decide now, Morrison said. Take the document, review it, consult an attorney if you want. There's no non-disclosure agreement. You can still tell your story. You can still talk to the press. This is just about doing what's right. I held the paper in my hands. This was more than I expected, more than I'd even hoped for. I want to show you something else, Morrison said. He stood up. We followed him. We walked down the hall into a conference room. On the table were training manuals, new employee handbooks. He picked one up. New policies, effective immediately at all 3 of my restaurants. He opened to a marked page. All reservations are now tracked digitally with timestamps. Every guest checks in through our system. If wait times exceed 10 minutes past reservation time, managers are automatically notified. Seating patterns are reviewed weekly. If any demographic shows consistently longer wait times, we investigate. He turned another page. Mandatory bias training. Every employee, every quarter. Not just watching a video. Real workshops, role-playing, discussions, led by professionals. Another page. Anonymous reporting system. Staff can report discrimination they witness without fear of retaliation. Reports go directly to me and to HR, not to the manager on duty. He closed the book. These are real changes, permanent changes, because of you. 8 weeks later, Morrison invited us back, not as customers, as guests, to see the changes firsthand. I was nervous. Marcus was skeptical, but we agreed to go. We walked in on a Tuesday evening. The hostess stand looked different. A new digital system, a screen showing reservation names and times. A new hostess stood there, a young Black woman. She smiled when she saw us. Genuine warmth. Welcome to Bella Vista, she said. Morrison appeared from the back. Jasmine, Marcus, thank you for coming. He introduced us to the new manager, a Latina woman named Sophia. Sophia comes from a background in hospitality and diversity consulting. She's completely restructured our front of house operations. Sophia shook our hands. I've heard your story. I'm honored to help make sure it never happens again. We walked through the restaurant. I saw diverse staff, different races, different ages, training certificates on the wall. a poster about their zero-tolerance discrimination policy. It felt different. It looked different. We sat down at a table. Morrison joined us. "I want you to know something," he said. "Your complaint changed everything. Not just here. I spoke to other restaurant owners, colleagues, friends in the industry. I told them what happened, what I learned. Some of them started looking at their own operations, finding their own problems." He pulled out his phone, showed me an email from another restaurant owner, thanking him for sharing, saying they discovered similar issues. "We're making changes too." "You started something bigger than you know," Morrison said. I felt tears forming, not from sadness this time, from something else. Pride, maybe. Validation. My voice had mattered. My refusal to stay quiet had created real change. "How are things now?" I asked. "Better," Sophia answered. "We still have work to do, but our reviews are improving, from guests of color specifically. They feel the difference. They notice the changes." Later that night, Marcus and I talked about everything, about how far we'd come from that horrible Saturday in May. "How do you feel?" he asked me. I thought about it, really thought. "Different," I said. "I feel different. Stronger, maybe." Before this happened, I would walk away from conflict. I'd swallow my anger, tell myself it wasn't worth it, that I was being too sensitive, that making a scene would only make things worse. But now I know different. Now I know that staying silent doesn't protect me. It protects them, the people who discriminate, the systems that allow it. My voice matters. My dignity matters. And fighting for it is always worth it. "I don't second-guess myself anymore," I told Marcus. "When something feels wrong, I trust that feeling. I speak up, immediately, calmly, but firmly." He smiled. "I've noticed. You're not the same person you were 6 months ago." He was right. I wasn't, and I never would be again. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been treated like you don't matter? Like you're invisible because of your skin color? Have you ever walked away from discrimination wishing you'd said something? I know that feeling. I lived it for years. But not anymore. What happened at Bella Vista changed me. Not because I got an apology, not because I got money, but because I learned that my voice has power, that standing up works, that justice is possible when you refuse to stay silent. If you're watching this and you've experienced something similar, please tell your story. In the comments below, share what happened to you. You're not alone, and your experience matters. Subscribe to Revenge Leader if you want to see more stories like this. Stories about ordinary people who refuse to accept injustice, who stand up, who speak out, who win. Because we deserve to be treated with dignity, all of us. And when we demand it, when we document it, when we fight for it, change happens. They thought I would stay quiet. They thought a gift card would make me go away. They were wrong. And if someone tries to silence you, remember this story. Remember that you have power. Use it. Have you experienced restaurant discrimination, racist treatment while dining out, body shaming at stores? Share your customer service revenge story below. This channel exposes entitled people, Karen encounters, and workplace injustice. I fought back against racism and won. You can too. Subscribe to Revenge Leader for more satisfying revenge stories where customers get justice. Real stories, real consequences, real empowerment. If you've been disrespected, scammed, or betrayed by bad customer service, your voice matters. Stand up, Speak out. Get revenge the right way. They thought I'd stay quiet. They were wrong. Justice served.